Hello and welcome back or welcome to my channel. We're going to do a pick a card reading. So I just shuffled and I thought, wait a second, let's press record. These are the 3 cards that are coming out. I'm going to flip over the cards and then you're going to have a little look-see and figure out which pile is calling to you more. And we will go from there. So pile number 1, we have Bone Collector. Pile number 2, we have Talisman, and then our 3rd card is Magic Stream. Picking your pile down below, and I will be with you again shortly. If you went ahead and chose the Bone Collector, the number on this card is a number 1. So right off the hop, I'm picking up on a new beginning happening for you. Maybe you felt really inspired to declutter your space, to just kind of shift around your furniture. That was a big one for me. Growing up, I always rearranged my room. And even now, I will rearrange the furniture and just my space at least a handful of times throughout the year. If you're really empathic and you pick up on stagnant energy, and especially now for a new beginning and just like starting a new journey, moving the things in your space and just moving and shifting that stagnant energy is going to be extremely helpful for you. Getting rid of old things that don't bring you joy, that's also going to be a really big bonus for you. And before I do read the book, I'm just tuning in on this halo of light all around this person's head and crown. I feel like right now you're being infused with divine direction and inspiration, and your discernment, I'm also hearing, is receiving a bit of an upgrade, I want to say. I feel like you're already a discerning individual, but it's like you're going to be able to cut through the cloth so much more clearly. Very exciting. Bone Collector. You are whole and have everything you need within. When the Bone Collector appears, she is asking you to look closely at your circumstances, to see if you're fully present or reacting out of past conditioning and unconscious expectations. Whenever we're wounded, especially when we're young, it's as if something essential is stolen from us. We adapt and accept a particular version of the truth that then sets us up to behave a certain way in the future when faced with a situation that reminds us of the original event. What we know about ourselves thus becomes influenced by a perception of limitation. You may feel unworthy or without courage. You may see yourself as flawed or unlovable, or expect to be criticized. No matter what your question, the Bone Collector reminds you that the truth is that you are a powerful being with limitless possibilities. She has kept safe what was stolen from you in the wounding, and is here for you as you reclaim it now. You have everything you believe you lack, and the Bone Collector is your inner resources. Act as if you have what you need, and you'll find you have it after all. With awareness, the wounds of the past need not define you. I think, here we go again. I just did a reading and explained the importance of removing the I think from sentences, because the I think leaves us in a questioning energy, in an energy that isn't as confident if we were to say, I know. What is coming up here is you have everything you need inside of you. You are so powerful. And even though all of this is all true, the only way we can walk the path toward solidifying that knowing into our energy is by figuring out what is stopping us from realizing that in the first place. What is currently stopping you from believing you are as powerful as you are? The ask here, and what came up in reading that book, is figuring out what seeds were planted in your childhood that caused these feelings of unworthiness, that caused these feelings of doubt, scarcity, anything that takes away or pulls away from the wholeness of who you are infinitely. Did you not get the attention that you were deserving of? Did you not receive the support that you were worthy of? Figure out what happened in your childhood or in years past, maybe in significant relationships. A lot of wounding can happen for us as children, but I think also very close relationships are easily dismissed. Like if we are only looking at our childhood wounding, but then we don't pay attention to the other bonds and the other close relationships we attach ourselves to in hopes of finding that freedom or that transformation or the attention we're seeking, then we dismiss our first few really important romantic partnerships, or we dismiss like the best friend we made when we were 6 years old because we're being introduced to other people at that time in school. And so when we have these strong bonds with people, it goes further than like the family wounding. Even though if you're here and you're listening to this, you're probably here and also on a journey of healing the family wounding. But this is coming up for a reason, and I would encourage you to consider the other like fundamental relationships you had in your life around the very impressionable age groups, those age groups of 6 to 8 years old, and then again when you were a teenager, and then again in your mid-20s, figuring out what those impressionable relationships, like what imprint they had on you as well. Knowing that you are an infinite divine being and getting to that place of total inner confidence is going to require you to navigate all of the different streams and all of the paths of wounding from years past. Okay, so we're going to pull from the Queen of the Moon Oracle to get a few more answers here. Thank you so much for subscribing to my channel and for being here. Again, if you are already subscribed, I'm really excited. I'm so excited to start this journey with you. It's been something that I've been dreaming of and thinking of for years, but only just really recently like landed in the determination and the excitement of showing up, not only for myself, but for you to read for. So let's see what we have here. Resistance. What is it that you could be resisting? I'm seeing you standing like in an open hallway, and along the walls of this open hallway are all of these different doors, and the doors are closed shut. But what's interesting in the vision I'm receiving is the door right in front of you, like at the very end of the hall, is wide open. And on the other side of that is anything you can imagine. It is either a sunny, bright, gorgeous day, or it is a torrential downpour and lightning. It's almost as if this is what it is. Thank you. What a beautiful vision. It's like any door you open, any choice you make moving forward is going to determine the outcome you receive. So you have all of these different choices and all of these different, I guess, access points that you can go into, and whatever it is you choose for yourself, you are going to be solidifying that end door. You're going to be solidifying what you find on the other side of the door straight ahead along this path of life. So what is it that you're resisting? I'm even seeing someone like not wanting to open up doors at all, just like being comfortable, but so uncomfortable. You know, that space where it's like, yeah, this is just what I do every day. This is how I spend my time. Like, I'm fine here. But then you have an entire list of things that you actually want to experience and you actually want to live through in your life or start or gain, whatever the case is. You're avoiding the options, you're avoiding change, and you're avoiding the things that could propel you into like just a library of infinite possibilities. So I believe that this is just a reminder that you have everything in your grip. You have all of the choices, all of the decisions, all of this life-giving energy in the palm of your hands, and you get to choose. You get to choose and you get to decide what it is you work through, what it is you actually face and stop ignoring. Next, we have focus. Ooh, I love that. And I love love the butterfly in her third eye. I feel like you in particular, and we also have the full moon, like you're going to be going through a massive intuitive upgrade over the next 6 weeks, I'm hearing. And our 14 comes down to a 5. And so this is a lot of changes. And then, of course, the message behind the butterfly, which is change and transformation. A lot of rebuilding, a lot of incredible new beginnings are happening for you. When we have the full moon, and the full moon is actually right around the corner, but any corner the full moon finds us on, this really blasts its power and its light through the physical world. You can see more clearly. And this isn't just with your physical eyes, but it's with your energetic sense. It's with your higher chakras. There's so much blue happening in this card as well. So that's also communicating your throat chakra is getting an activation as well over the next few weeks. And there is, if you know it or not, if you can sense it or not, pick up on it or not, there is a massive, massive focus on your intuitive upgrade at this time. So take advantage of that and start asking the questions. Start asking what has been holding you back, what seeds were planted years ago that are creating this idea of worry or fear of you moving forward, and what have you been resistant towards? And I looked at the timer at 13:33. You can really depend on leaning into divine guidance at this time. Sit down, speak to Jesus, speak to Buddha, speak to the Divine Mother, speak to your higher self. All of the divine answers are ready to be revealed to you. It's also going to be a really creative time. I love that. 333 and 33 in particular is all about divine creativity. And when I said a creative time, I instantly thought about communication, and I saw you sitting and journaling and writing, which is admittedly a practice that I need to pick up again because I haven't sat and journaled in a while. And I probably have 1,000,001 things I need to just like blurt out of my brain. Create. If you're into any art, paint, draw, do anything that is going to help you creatively express whatever it is that's on your mind, your heart, and in your soul. Next, we have surrender, and we have even more blue. I love this. I feel like the path that you're on right now is entirely out of your control. And the more you fight it, the more you're resistant towards this change, you're going to prolong your unhappiness, and you're going to prolong this end result of essentially bringing you closer to where you want to be. I can talk about this for days. I can do entire workshops on it. I am someone who has literally spent years, like almost a decade, just frozen in place, dabbling, learning, lots of asking questions, but not as much doing, or not as much diligent doing. What was it that my mom said to me the other day? She goes, discipline is freedom. This is something that she came across on social media. And of course, my ego like snapped back, and I was like, I don't know about that. And then I was quiet, and she looked at me and she goes, yeah, discipline equals freedom. And clairvoyantly, my higher self was just like showing me all of the things, like any area of your life. If you think about committing yourself to something, like what have you committed yourself to? And in that commitment, what was required? It was discipline. And in that discipline, look at what you were able to succeed. All of us have done this at one point or another in our life. So it's figuring out what is the next step, what's the next phase, and what it's going to require to get you there. Just surrender to the process and do the things that you're intuitively guided to do, because you're getting there one way or another. The void, number 1. Fitting. It's going under our other number 1. This is, I feel, the new beginning of all new beginnings. If you were looking to shake things up and to get things going again in your life, this is exactly what it is that you needed. Let's read from this top paragraph here. If you find yourself resisting the dark moon, it's usually a clear sign that you are being stubborn about letting go of something that is old and not serving you in a positive way any longer. Often, that is a fear or pattern that was created to protect you. However, now it is outdated, yet you are still carrying it or acting it out, knowing that this moon is powerful, but it is also incredibly gentle in the way it helps you unravel what it actually is so you can embrace the fresh start of tomorrow. Relax. Reframe and rethink about how much better your life will be without that bad habit, fear, or pattern. Get very clear about the possibilities of this transformation and what it will give you in real terms. This is the power of the dark moon. It is the optimum time in the cycle to release the old and cut the cords of relationships and traumas that deserve no time and attention in your present. In July, I celebrated 7 years of sobriety. Like, I didn't drink, I drank. And I just didn't get high. I got high. Like, I took all of the things and just went so excessive with it. So all of us have been there. We have something that we can relate to, and that we know that we have the power inside of us to succeed. It's just figuring out what that thing is that we're ready to tackle. And remember, it doesn't matter how many times you've tried to tackle something, as long as there is an end point where it is finally tackled and put to rest. If anything else could be helpful around this, it can be any pattern, it can be any habit, it can be anything that drains your energy and doesn't provide anything positive for you and takes you away from other things that are going to serve you. When it comes to tackling those things, you do have the power to do it. You do have the power to do it. And I'm just going to leave it there. I'm going to leave it there. Think about the thing, because it's coming up for a reason. So you are listening to this and there is something for you to finally face. And we should start like our own community. This is inspiring, where we tackle addictions, and like addictions from like a spiritually strong place, not from the victim place of I am that. So long as we don't identify as something does not have a grip on us. I had a bit of a problem with like NA and AA and things like that. I've been to 3, I want to say, NA meetings. I went the first day just to solidify my choice. I went on my 1-year anniversary, and I went on my 2nd-year anniversary, and then COVID happened and a bunch of other like years have passed since. But the one thing I never understood was why or how people introduce themselves as addicts. It's like, hi, I'm so-and-so and I'm an alcoholic. And I just thought, wow, it's so disempowering. It's just too closely identifying as something that they're fighting against being. So why open up a sentence that way? Anyways, I digress. Meetings are so amazing for so many people, but I guess the thing that I learned was the importance of removing identification from myself and finding so much success in that. Next, we have faith. Makes sense. And then lastly, we have acceptance. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I don't need to spend too much time here because I feel like these are areas that I've already naturally covered. It's like having the faith of your higher self, the power of the universe within you, like having faith, having that knowing, having that knowledge within you, and so clearly that you are the power of the universe from within and without. Accepting what isn't working for you is only going to give you the strength to move through that thing in order to find what will work for you instead. It's like the first step is accepting you have a problem and admitting you have a problem. So it's just getting yourself to that point, figuring out what that is, but not from a vain point of view, but truly from your higher self. What is it that your soul wants you to break free from to experience more freedom? right? Detaching, having no attachment, having no preferences, not identifying as anything. This is like what we are all searching for and seeking, is true liberation in this sense. Okay, I'm hearing one more card. The deck is Energy Oracle Cards by Sandra Ann Taylor. And just the one card, yes or no? Okay. And we have Angel of Balance. Whoo-wee! Okay, I love that. This is bringing me back to this time in my life where I was really trying to find balance with how much time I was spending in front of Netflix. I was in like a transitional time in my life in between courses or jobs or something. And we all know what it's like to like just sit and crush not a season of a show, but like an entire series of a show through a lot of introspection. When I sit down and I am crushing like more than just trilogies, committing, like really committing myself to a TV series or a movie series or something like that, I am 1000% avoiding inner work. Things are coming up for me and I'm like, not today, higher self. And I am distracting my way in any way possible. And for me, that's crushing series on Netflix. And I suppose now that I dig into it a little bit more, crushing things on YouTube, or, you know, sitting and having a TikTok marathon for a few hours on the couch. Ugh. There really is a fine balance. At that time in my life, I thought to myself, well, sitting and watching TV isn't a bad thing, because this isn't a bad thing. I'm a Gemini. I have so much air, Libra, and even more Gemini all in my chart. I'm very mentally active. So sometimes I just need to chill and shut down. And there's only so much meditating or so much conversation with Jesus. That's actually a mental thing, isn't it? Like prayer is it's very mentally stimulating and heart stimulating. So yeah, so anyways, sorry. If you don't know me by now, you will certainly know I can ramble. Ooh. That was really good. Anyways, it's like doing the things isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it's when we are gluttonous with things that it can be a bad thing. And sometimes there are certain behaviors and certain things that we do that we just find a terrible time turning away from. At that time in my life, finding balance with the Netflix, it was like, okay, well, watching the TV isn't a bad thing, but I do need to find balance. So I thought to myself, what is one thing that I can fuel myself with from a wellness standpoint if I'm going to spend X amount of time doing this, which is like a mindless act, like not very energy fulfilling for the most part. Not saying all the time, but for the most part. And so I really found my balance with just making sure that I gave myself that hour and a half walk outside in nature, cutting up that TV electronic aspect of life with a very strong aspect of nature. Find the balance, find the thing that is drawing you out and pulling you away from equilibrium, and do something that you know is nurturing for you. And if you're anything like me, that's going to change for you every single day. Check in with yourself at the top of the day. Like, what do I need? What do I need today? And your answer will come to you, because your intuition is brilliant and it is breaking through so many walls, and you are just like an onion peeling right now, and amazing things are so shiny and so new and coming to the surface for you. I am so excited for you through this work, through the work that you are so graciously taking the time to accept and no longer resist. You are going to be so surprised with who you become. The reflection you see of all of the divine work you put into yourself is truly, I promise you, going to just surprise you in the best ways possible. This is what I have for you, group number 1. Thank you so much for spending time with me. Thank you for subscribing, because amazing things are going to happen on this platform. And because you are one of the first to tune in, I'm so excited for you to keep on watching and just being a part of this journey. So much love to you. Have a beautiful day. Hello, group number 2. If you chose the talisman card, this is going to be your reading. I'm going to read the book. We're going to start there. We have a lot of green happening in this card, and actually a lot of turquoise. Turquoise is happening in this card as well. This is really speaking to the heart chakra. In terms of our chakra system, we have the heart chakra, and this is normally depicted or thought of in terms of shades of green as well as pink. And that's funny, I'm wearing like a nice rosy pink sweatshirt today. The heart chakra really speaks to our empathy for others and the compassion and the love that we feel for others. In terms of all of the turquoise I'm seeing, so this is green mixed in with a little bit of blue, this is the upper heart chakra that sits in between the heart and the throat chakra. It's referred to as the thymus. This is really all about how we can cultivate the most compassion and empathy for ourselves. So the heart chakra itself is compassion and love for others, where the thymus, the higher heart chakra, is all about compassion and love towards ourselves. So let's just go ahead and open up the book. The Talisman, number 49. A lesson truly learned is crystallized as earned wisdom. Ooh-wee. It absolutely gives me chills. I very openly share that I left an extremely successful career like almost a decade ago. And when I left, my higher self spoke through me and said, I'm going to do YouTube next, and I'm going to be extremely successful at YouTube. I'm so excited. And it has been almost a decade. I held myself back from the discipline required to put myself on that path. In the last few months, I have been feeling so incredibly encouraged to really speak up and to stand in my power, being in that true glorious wisdom of, if I start and stop again, I'm just going to stay stuck. So I might as well start, and I might as well have the discipline to see anything I want through, because clearly this wish and this desire is not going away. And I think that that is truly what is meant by the saying, if it is meant for you, it will not pass you by. So just take a moment and think about that thing you've wanted to have in your life. Think about the thing that you've started and you've stopped, but the idea of it has not left you. It might not be a flame inside of you, but there is a hot coal, and you can create flame within you for this thing. I'm sure all of us have it, even if it's a childhood dream or just something on the I want to do list. Something is there, something is within you right now. It's yours to discover, and it's yours to see through. God gives us this inspiration. He fills us with desire and says to us, if this is something that you want, I am here to hold your hand and help you achieve that thing. But in that, we have to physically put action and physically put in work to gain what it is God says we could have if we put enough intention behind it. The rest of the message here is wisdom allows you to recognize traps on the road and familiar patterns that you want to avoid. It also enables you to quickly gather information about where you are on your journey. It helps you recognize your allies and know how to find the best routes along the way. Now you're at a place where you know the right thing to do and the best choices to make. You really can't commit a mistake. Whatever your inquiry, great fortune awaits you, for you have the wisdom to arrive at the right destination. You've learned your lessons and earned the right to your success. Oh my gosh, I just imagine all of us in this glorious, amazing room with each other, celebrating and clapping, but like really peacefully smiling ear to ear, because it also takes that wisdom to know and to just be humble about the thing. It's so exciting. It really truly is so exciting. Whatever is for you will not pass you by. I recorded something and posted it on my Instagram the other day, and it was along the lines of, just because it didn't happen for you in your timeline, it doesn't mean it wasn't meant for you. So remember that. Like, remember, you have your dreams and your desires for a reason, and it's such a beautiful thing. Like, always follow it. Always follow your heart. And if it doesn't disappear, it's for a reason. Don't doubt it. Have faith. Okay, I'm hearing that's it for that. This is the Queen of the Moon Oracle. Fruition, number 37. Creation, number 39. Oh, this is so exciting. Look at all of the moon action. Oh my gosh. I love this. Sorry, I'm just adjusting myself in my chair. I am so ready. I heard flip all of them, so I have to. Resilience. Oh, love that. The unexpected. Self-love. Oh, and it's just, I love that. It's like this abundance, this fulfilling or fulfillment, I suppose, depiction in the crowns of both of those cards. Sovereignty, beautiful. Next we have surrender, number 26. I love this so much. The vision I'm receiving is, I see the Fool card. I see the Fool card from the original tarot, and the Fool is all about like taking a first step into a new journey. What the Fool has is they have a satchel just filled with tools. And in this satchel and with all the tools, we truly are reminded that we have everything we need. Do you know how many times I allowed my ego to stop me by saying, no. When you have this and this, like, then you can start. Or how many times my logical mind took over and asked way too many questions. Do I do it like this? How should I do that? How should I do this? I would just overthink every situation. Very rarely have I not overthought anything. Did I mention to you, or did I mention to another group, that I have so much air in my chart? It can be so easy to allow the mind to trick you, or allow the ego to be so boisterous that it stops us in our tracks. But it can also be a blessing too, because maybe if something wasn't for us then, it's because everything else had to kind of fall into place and line up for us in order to bring us to a spot where it's like, okay, now this is it. I don't know about you, but I need to feel a lot of passion behind the things that I'm committed to. I have to truly desire something and want something. And when that life is sparked inside of me, it does not leave me. So your dreams, your hopes, your desires, your wishes, right now is the time to reap what it is you have sown. You are bringing to fruition the things that you have hoped for and the things you have desired. And I'm just like, I'm looking through at the eyes through this mask right now. There's almost this piece of you that is still keeping hidden, and that's okay. Allow for your inner self, allow for your discernment and your intuition to lead you and guide you in sharing what you want to share in good divine time. No matter who it is that's around you, no one and nothing is going to stop you in your flow. What it is you desire, it's already done. It has absolutely already happened. You are in full creation mode. And I love this. I love that it's a face, but not really a face in the clouds. And now is your time to tune in, tap in, become alive with creation itself from within. Like, really tune in and tap into your intuition, however that lands for you. I absolutely love teaching my clients, my family members, my friends, how their intuition is being communicated through them. It's something I niche on because I can easily feel into that energy and understand what is being communicated to help my client or to help that person know how or what is being communicated through them. And it's remarkable to hear like, oh yeah, like I see it, I understand it. So the thing with intuition is there are guidelines out there. Your clairvoyance, like what clairvoyance is. People say it's like seeing movies inside of your mind, but it can also be like a quick flash, or it can resemble a quick memory. I was just sitting with a client earlier today, and one of the messages that came through very much looked like a memory of a conversation I had just earlier that day. I could see the person I was speaking with in my mind's eye, and I could almost audibly hear that part of the conversation. It's like I knew the memory, I knew the part of the morning I was supposed to communicate to my client. There are guidelines, but now is your time to understand how your intuition communicates through you. And like I was explaining in other videos, and as I do explain to clients, it's important to catch the winds, meaning listening to what your intuition has to say, following through on the guidance that it's providing. So catching the winds, following through, and be like, yes, like my intuition totally put me onto that path and I listened and I did the things. It's so important to do that, but just as important is to have the quote unquote slip ups where your intuition guides you to do something, but then you just don't follow through and you don't do it. Because then when you don't do the thing and you're being faced with that repercussion of not following through on your intuition, a simple example is turn right down that road and you're like, no, I usually turn left. I like that route better. And you turn left, and then 2 minutes later, you're stuck in incredible traffic. And you think to yourself, my intuition said turn right and I didn't. That is, believe it or not, an almost bigger win, because you're taking a moment to actually acknowledge that your intuition communicated something to you and you understand the importance of actually following through on the guidance your intuition, your higher self, your angels have for you. So that the next time something like that happens, I'm not saying every time, but the next time something like that happens, you're more likely and more susceptible, I want to say, to follow through on what your intuition provides. And that is what ultimately puts you on the path and aligns you to the best outcome you could ask for. The resilience here and the unexpected is really communicating never giving up through always answering the call. Do you see this basket of life on this person's back? This is the wisdom. This is the wisdom that you have collected and that you've earned through your choices and that you've earned through your decisions. In this basket of just life, like all of these vines, you know that there is just a pile of thousands and thousands and thousands of seeds. This is what you have worked hard for. This is what the tears gave you, your resilience, the tears that I am sure you cried, the questions I'm sure you have asked. Your resilience is going to provide you with not only the things that you've desired, but the unexpected, the better than what you could have imagined for yourself. The last three cards here are self-love, our sovereignty, and our surrender. What has been accepted in the past is not what will be accepted in the future. A new queendom is coming. When we reign over our own lives, it is us that take on the responsibility for our own change and decisions. The Moon Queen knows that we, just under the divine, are our own rulers, and as such, the buck stops here. Therefore, it is worth us investing in growing our own self-awareness, our own self-trust, self-care, and self-esteem in real and practical ways. We must, as any queen would, set firm boundaries to protect our queendom and those who are under our protection. Here we're reminded of setting boundaries, setting strong boundaries, being very confident in the boundaries that we set in our lives. This speaks to feminine energy. This really encompasses just being in flow and really honoring our intuition, right? When we think about the feminine side of us, our left creative flow state side in comparison to our right linear analytical side, this really asks any one of us to honor that intuitive grace that we have, the intuitive self that communicates through us. We might refer to it as intuition. I feel like it's going to be so much easier for you to set boundaries once you come into this place of amazing self-love and self-respect. So what is it that you can do today and tomorrow and the next day and the next day and the next day that's really going to give you that self-love, that ability to stand really strong and really firm, but gentle and kind in your opinion, in whatever it is you actually stand for. When you pour in the self-love, the care, the making choices and decisions that really support who you are authentically, you then become this immaculate sovereign being, someone who isn't afraid to stand up for themselves and to call the shots in their life, to state the boundaries, to just let people know the type of energy that you're now in. What is it that you will accept and not accept? And what ties are you willing to untie because you know deep down that they no longer serve you? Surrender, my love. Surrender to what is. Surrender to the grace and the divine love and blessings that are making their way into your life. Surrender to your higher self, to your higher knowing, to everything that wants to come in and bless you and fulfill you in the most amazing way. Thank you so much for spending time with me. Thank you so much for commenting down below, for asking questions, maybe sharing your thoughts. Thank you for everything. Hello, pile number 3. If you have chosen the magic stream, then boy, oh boy, do I have messages for you. I'm actually not sure at all what's going to come up, but I know it's going to be interesting. I just sat and recorded a lot of readings just back to back to back to back to back. I'm full of energy. I thought to myself, okay, I'm going to go downstairs. I'm going to tidy up just a little bit, and then I'm going to come back and I am going to finish up the last reading. When I was downstairs, I was anticipating all of these weird things to happen. I don't know why. My house is really active, very active with spirit, not at all creepy. Just, you know, my mom is a medium. She's not like a practicing medium, but she hears and she sees those who have passed on. And then myself, I'm a practicing medium as well as psychic, been clairvoyant ever since I was a kid. And anyways, we have a lot of active energy around us because if someone can see, then of course that energy would want to come around. Anyways, there was a young boy in the kitchen. There's a gentleman who I really do need to actually sit and have a conversation with. And what else is interesting is I left my bedroom door open and I knew that I had invited them into this space. I'm actually hearing now from my own guidance that this is someone visiting for you, one of the listeners. So let's get into it. You can feel free to say hi in the comments if you believe that this person is here for you. You could message me privately or just not say anything at all and just receive the messages that are coming up. That is also a-okay. I do have a gentleman here. He's showing me at the time of his passing, he was, I want to say like 80s, mid 80s, 83. Thank you so much. But the way he steps forward now is actually during like a time in his life at 56. 56 will stand out to you, to your mother, I am told. When he was 56, this is your mother's father, your grandfather. He felt really alive. He felt extremely healthy and he was doing doing really well. He's such a kind man, and he's actually a very expressive gentleman. I'm just feeling really warm inside. Like my whole physical body just got really warm. I feel like his heart is a really warm place. He's a fantastic storyteller. He loved to sit around and talk, but even more so, he is expressing himself as being someone who was a very good listener as well. And just to let you know, this is someone that came into my awareness a couple of days ago, and God bless. Thank you so much for sticking around and waiting for this moment to catch it on camera. He's also a patient man, and this is really important. And he says that he sees this within you. It is something that was passed down through your mom and to you. He sees that it's been really challenging and difficult for you at this time, and just know that he is giving you a lot of strength to get through the next part of your life. The waiting is not very long. If you were to think about a veil or think about like the thickness of a wall, it's almost as if what I was being shown was like the shell of an egg. Like you're almost there, like you're breaking through and a new beginning is starting for you. He puts you up on a pedestal. He has so many fond memories of you growing up. I can feel the love, and I anticipate this message also touching you very closely to your heart as well. There's something about music and you listening to music, and he right now is like helping to guide the certain types of music that you're listening to. He's showing me like turning down the volume on some music, and he's showing me that you would laugh at something like that. Maybe you relate in a sense of you understand like there's some of your music choices wouldn't be his first choices. Play around a little bit more with the different music choices that you're making. There is the young boy that I mentioned that I noticed in the kitchen as well. He's kind of tugging on your grandfather's pant leg. He's saying hi. I'm just kind of curious as to who he is. But okay, thank you. I'm hearing that you'll know. You'll know who he is. And oh, the little boy has such a huge smile on his face, ear to ear. And he's like doing this with his hands. Like there's just so much love. If this is something that he did do, or if it's just a clairvoyant message I'm picking up on, just like, oh, like I love you so much, is what he is communicating. And he's very like joyful and joyous and playing. I feel like what the message coming through is he's also surrounding you with a lot of playful energy. I'm sure the heart and the ears that message was supposed to reach will. And thank you to your grandfather and to that young boy. You're so sweet. And they have just taken a step back so that we can finish this. I also stepped outside, and it's pitch black out. I forgot to check the time. I have no clue what time it is right now, but it's been dark for a while. And I took out some recycling, and all of a sudden, like a chainsaw then turned on. I was like, this is weird. This is like a summer morning sound, not like a nighttime fall sound. I have no idea what is happening. And then I instantly started to think of like Jason and like the chainsaw massacre, and like the theme of Halloween started to play in my mind, which is suiting because I am recording this in October. Yeah, and what else was going on? Some different things were happening out of the ordinary things and out of the ordinary signs. So maybe this has also been happening for you and your energy. Maybe you've been experiencing things out of the ordinary lately. It could be confirmation for you. The number to this card is number 18. And before I do read the book, the other thing that I'm noticing, this could be like so appropriate for where you are right now. If you find yourself stagnant, you got to get up, you have to move around the energy, and you have to do something something different. As I was explaining at the top of this, like I sat down and I recorded tons of readings just back to back to back because I have so much energy, and that was my plan today, my goal today. And I'm so excited I've done that. But I got up, I went downstairs, I tidied up a bit. And as soon as I sat down to start sending that gentleman's message and the little boy's message, I was like, wow, like I have so much more energy. It's almost like my perspective has changed a little bit and I'm reinvigorated, rejuvenated to continue going. So if you do feel stagnant, or if you feel stuck, or if you have a job where you're sitting at a computer or you're doing something without much movement in your day, try to break your day up. Go for a 10-minute walk or a 5-minute stretch. Like do something to just move around your energy and get things flowing in a different way so that you do feel more alive. Back to your card. I'm just going to hold this up here, hopefully as steady as possible. So number 18 and magic stream. Everything is connected through the universal flow of consciousness. Every experience you have seems to have its own life story, with a beginning, a middle, and eventually an end. However, there is danger in seeing events as separate from one another, since in fact, they are all part of a continuity and a greater evolution. The collective awareness is a shared storehouse of potential. It's so amazing. The thing that's coming to me, and of course, like we can see this incredible waterfall of potential just pouring over. What is coming to me in terms of that divine inspiration, the divine ability to create anything that comes to us, like any message, any idea, any desire that we have. So many times in my life, I have thought about something and then I would see someone else produce a portion of that idea, a portion of the creative inspiration that I received. And it was kind of like, oh, well, they've already done it. Or I found myself facing a wall, banging my head up against this wall, trying to figure out how I could do it differently. And the thing that came to me just now, and imagine this, like take a moment to take this in. Imagine how many people there are in this world. And just having that awareness now of collective consciousness. So it's not just one person that receives this divine idea, but it's several people that are filled with the same divine creative inspiration. If one person acts on that creative inspiration and really comes forward in the world and expresses everything God has given them, only so many people will see that inspiration come to life. If that is 100 people, 1,000,000 people, 10 million people. But if we actually think about the population of the world as a whole, who's to say that if you come out and you come forward with your own message, with the way that God uniquely wants to communicate through you, through your creative expression, who's to say that your message won't land on the ears of someone who has or hasn't heard the message of someone that you have heard speak? To stop ourselves or to stop God from divinely creating through us is to really put a stop to creation itself. Our only reason to exist is to be in this flow of creativity, to experience and to create. So don't allow for someone else who has taken an idea, maybe even a similar idea to yours, and brought it to life. Don't allow that to stop you from taking action, to bringing your idea with as many or as little differences to life, because I can guarantee with the population of the entire world, more voices need to be recorded. Just because one person has brought something to life, it doesn't mean that it had the power or even destiny to reach the ears and the hearts of every single person person on the earth. I hope that inspires you to like really get to work, because I'm seeing that you have it in you. You have the will, you have the divine inspiration, you have everything you need, but something is holding you back, and it's time to rip the band-aid and just go for it, because whatever it is that's keeping you in place is actually false and not supposed to be keeping you stuck. Don't allow for your mind and for your fear and worry and your beliefs and ideas to keep you stuck. On the bottom of the deck, we have number 34, Hot Moons. This is extremes, and this is comparable to the Devil card. And when it comes to the Devil card, it just asks us to consider what is holding us back, to consider the habits and the patterns and, codependent tendencies, any unhealthy extremes, any unhealthy way of thinking or feeling or being in this life that is bringing us down a trajectory of unfulfillment. What is it that you need to look at and you need to reevaluate to make changes? I'm just going to shuffle this one more time because I feel like there's just a lot of stuff in here that needs to come out. So this is Queen of the Moon Oracle, and our first card is Gratitude. Next, we have Pleasure. It's like the gratitude you express for what it is you enjoy. Always remember that more of that will be cultivated into your life. Like more of that will be created. More opportunity of what it is you're grateful for will come to. So think about the things that bring you pleasure, but I'm even also hearing the advice of think about the things you want to experience pleasure in and act as if. Have gratitude for that aspect blooming in your life and really becoming alive in your daily experiences. If you want to experience more pleasure in your romantic partnership, start expressing your gratitude for everything you love about your partner. If you want to experience more physical pleasure in your daily life, consider like really touching different textures, like getting yourself a silk pillow or really taking in the experience of eating an orange, and instead of rushing through a meal, really taking the time to taste the different flavors just exploding on the palate. Whatever it is you're grateful for, share gratitude towards that, but now's the time to also think about what pleasures you want to experience and already put yourself in that frame of mind of, I'm already experiencing that thing and I am so grateful for that. Next, we have growth. And we have acceptance and the unexpected. Those two cards came up in another reading too, but I don't know what pile it was. I really do think that people's intuition will guide them exactly to the pile they need to listen to. And if anyone is inspired to listen to more piles, they just naturally will. So I don't think you'll ever hear me harp on you to go and look at a different pile. And speaking of, like, I'll receive the same cards and they'll just hold different messages in them. Your growth right now is really all about expanding what it is you desire. It's like your growth is happening for you in your physical world. It's so exciting. It's so exciting to think about what brings you joy and to have gratitude for those past experiences to bring in future experiences. I met someone years and years and years ago, and it was the most magical meeting I've ever had. It was actually the only conversation to this day where I have never overthought what I was going to say. Like everything just came out of me so naturally. I never second guessed. I never thought. I was just purely and authentically me. At the end of this most magical meeting that was very divinely guided and set up, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, angels. We shared a kiss and it was like out of this world, and it really really shifted me, brought me into quantum leaping. Like my whole life absolutely changed. I went through the most dramatic transformation. It was really just that entire interaction was something else. And if I were to be honest, because I have to be, thou shalt not lie, I have held on to maybe not so much the positive aspect of that interaction as much as I could have. This is what this reading is teaching me and hopefully giving insight for you on. I spent a lot of years, like 8 years. I haven't, oh, wow, we're really doing this. We're really being just so real. I haven't dated anyone. I haven't brought anyone in close to me. I have always measured everyone up, every interaction I've had against that one. And I mean, that's not very fair, is it? But it happened and it was real and it was very real for me. And I had just found myself in compare mode. And I don't think I really gave myself the opportunity to thank that situation as wholeheartedly as I could have. And I think I'm going to do a bit of a writing exercise tonight or a meditation exercise or something to just give a lot of gratitude for that in order to bring an experience like that back into my world, to experience that growth, to have that physical world, I don't know, gift, I suppose, given to me again. What is it that you've harbored resentment or shame or guilt or sadness or worry over? Where have you spent energy with those feelings? In what aspect of your life? And how can you turn it around so that you can really appreciate the things that happened in order to call in more of what you want to grow and expand in your world instead? Having acceptance and the unexpected. Where I'm going with the acceptance is I'm just seeing a lot of doves. I really connect so much with doves and peace doves. Once we accept the things we cannot change, and once we gather the courage to change the things that we can and the wisdom to know the difference, that's really when we experience the most growth we could ask for. What is it in your life that you need to accept a little bit more? What experiences do you need to accept for being what they were? And what experiences do you need to break free from in order to invite the new in? I keep going up to the number 4. So this could be a very foundational time in your life. This could be a moment of transition and transformation, of putting in new roots, building a new and stronger structure. The unexpected is bound to happen. Once we really gather acceptance, if that's for where we are in life, with where it is we want to be and the action it's going to take to get us there, it's like, what do we need to remove? What do we need to call in? What types of behaviors do we need to break free from? And what new patterns do we need to get ourselves into to make this work, to make this happen? The unexpected will happen. And everything about this card screams the unexpected in the most amazing ways. It's the better than you can imagine type of message coming through. There's another card in here. Here's one card. There it is. The talisman. The talisman talks to us about really learning from the past. The things that we have learned from is true wisdom that we have gained. I am going to read the book. I love the message in this book. A lesson truly learned is crystallized as earned wisdom. You have all you need for the success you seek. What is it that you want? What pleasure are you seeking? What is it from your past? Who is it from your past? What experiences have you already had? What things have you repeated and gained the same outcome from? What is it that you have gained such unbelievable wisdom from that can help put you on the path forward to exactly where it is you would like to be? the thinking woman, number 47. We have a butterfly here. I'm just noticing the blue stairs, the book in her hand. She's holding something else. There's like a yellow flower bush over here. The card, like a lot of green, a lot of turquoise. So this is heart chakra and thymus chakra energy, compassion and empathy and love for others as well as for ourselves. The thinking woman has less talking, more listening, inquiring from within, trusting that you'll receive the answers in divine time. So the thinking woman, female of wisdom or understanding. I'm also seeing the Queen of Swords, someone who's very sure in what it is they need or want to communicate. The only way to get there is to have that time to hermit, to step away, to have quiet time, to contemplate, to actually find mental clarity. This card shows a woman holding a book, standing before a staircase, ready to lead you to higher understanding. This woman could be a friend who helps you express and understand your feelings, or she could be a teacher brought to your life at the time to take you in a new direction. This could also be a new love interest with a woman who is thoughtful, conscious, and aware. Or, like the thinking man, the card could represent a side of yourself that's ready to blossom and bring clarity and assistance to the world. If so, find your voice and let your wisdom shine. Didn't do a very good job at holding that card, did I? The affirmation here is, I open my mind and heart to my own inner wisdom. I am thoughtful, focused, and clear. You know what else was coming to me is when I was telling you about that off chance meeting I had with that individual and then the mind blowing ending of our night. It's amazing with what one kiss can do to someone. If there is something that you've wanted or an experience that you've had that you want to experience again, it's like you had a taste of something in a certain area of your life. Having gratitude for that moment could very well be the thing that unlocks that moment to come forward into your life again. Giving gratitude is a cord of positive energy, where on the flip side of that, if we harbor any feelings that aren't full of gratitude or thoughtfulness or love or kindness, that confusing energy is also that line of confusion, or a resentful energy is that line of resentment. It really is just allowing for your inner guidance to help you stay true to you and to help you recognize what it really is that you want to call into your life, and knowing that you have the essence to do that. And if it looks the way that you imagine it to look, fantastic. If it comes in to your life in a different way, that is also phenomenal. Just recognizing that you are worthy and worth every ounce of greatness you desire. Use the wisdom that you've gathered through the years, through your many lifetimes, and take that wisdom and put it to good use. Make good choices, make good decisions, and you will find the ultimate pleasure in this lifetime. Thank you so much for spending time with me. I hope your day or night and just life in general is full of beautiful bliss and joy and all of the right things that your soul needs to get you from one place to the next.